Okay, my name is Beth Dittberner. I'm currently an electrical engineering student at NDSU.
Had you worked in 3D printing before?
No, I had a class where I learned about 3D printing, but it was very basic stuff. We didn't do anything in CAD.
What was your first impression when you came to the Keck Center?
A lot of machines. It was really cool. I mean, it was almost overwhelming on how much there is here, but it's also really cool because there's a lot of things you can learn. So I guess that was my first impression, that there's a lot you can learn here.
What appealed to you specifically? What started to get, you're seeing everything and it's kind of overwhelming, and then what seemed particularly interesting?
I don't know. I'm just the kind of person where I'm kind of interested in learning whatever I can. So almost just the fact that there's so much I could learn was what really appealed to me.
I've always noticed that about the Keck Center, that you're basically allowed to follow your curiosity. Did you find that kind of vibe? Did you find that?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think training-wise, people are always willing to show you what they're doing on their machine. I mean, obviously it is expensive equipment, so you have to learn how to use it. But everybody's willing to show you what they're doing and how you're doing it, and if you express interest, they'd probably be interested with you working on it. And it's just the impression I get, at least.
Tell me a little bit about your project.
So I've been designing a third octave analysis acoustic measurement system that we're interfacing through MATLAB. We use equipment through TDT. I've been programming most of the time. Other students on the project are working on designing a headset, which that is more towards the additive manufacturing. My main focus, especially being in electrical engineering, has been designing the measurement system.
What is it that your octave measurement system does?
Okay, so we have, I guess, a mannequin. It's called Kimar. It has 2 mics in his ear, and from that we send it into an input into, I guess the best way I could explain it is it's like a digital to analog real-time processor. So it's where we store and send out our signal. And then we're going to have 4 speakers around Kimar's head at 0, 90, 180, 270 degrees. And that we can test, I guess, for example, a headset, if you have, because like I said, Kimar's a mannequin, if it's not sealing properly, I guess, you can see how much sound is, I guess, prevalent, in the ears, what the mics would pick up. You can see if there's a presence of sound.
How long have you been here working on this project?
I've been here since June, so a couple months.
And what's been your experience of the school, the town, just sort of the context?
I mean, I think it's really nice here. It's hot, but it's nice. I think the people are really nice here. I mean, everybody I've met has been really nice. I've actually really enjoyed my stay here. Even it's very different from where I live, but it really just opens your perspective, I guess, to a different place.
I imagine that there's a young student somewhere that is thinking about the opportunity of maybe coming and doing a summer project like you have. Mm-hmm. What would you say to them? What do you think would be their concerns, and what could you answer to those?
I'm guessing their main concern, especially for a student, would be, especially if they're coming from a different place, would be being alone for the summer, which, again, that has to do with your personality, and partly if you don't think you could handle that, you shouldn't do it. But I think you shouldn't restrict yourself, because you will meet people here. It's a college filled with students, and all of them are extremely nice people, that if that's your main worry, I wouldn't be that worried, I guess.
What about, you know, somebody that really wants to develop in their education? How do you think this experience would help them?
I think it really helps. I didn't have much experience programming in MATLAB, and I didn't know anything about acoustics. So I've set up an acoustic measurement system without knowing acoustics or with very little. I had one class where I was programming in MATLAB, but it's one class. You get more experience the more you do it. So I think you can learn a lot. In my opinion, I think internships, just some more hands-on experience, is you just can't get that in school. You gain a lot from just working all day in a lab.
Are you excited about how far you've taken your project in this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited. I mean, when you work for so many months on it, when you have to leave, it's kind of sad because you're like, oh, I just spent a few months making this, and then when you have to just leave it, it's honestly a little sad.
Have you had a good time here?
Yeah, I've had a really good time. I really like it here. I mean, part of me misses home and the people I know, but part of me will miss the experience here and what I can do at this lab. So I'm conflicted most of the time.
Would the Keck Center be somewhere that you could recommend to people?
Yeah, I definitely recommend. I really like this lab. I've worked in prior labs coming to the Keck Center, and just the opportunities you have here is crazy.
What would you tell you know, a female engineer or a young engineer or somebody from far away? What do you think would be a helpful thing to know?
I just think you shouldn't doubt yourself and what you can do. I mean, even if you don't have the most experience in something, especially like I said, I don't have much experience in acoustics, you can learn a lot and you can read and learn from the people around you. So I guess what I would recommend is don't doubt your abilities, especially when you're young. You're there to learn. I guess for me, that's what I'm most worried about half the time, because I'm a perfectionist, so I don't like to do things wrong. But in a research setting, you have to accept most of the things you'll do is wrong, but you learn from the errors you make and you improve upon those errors. They do really well with the training here, that even if you don't necessarily know everything about additive manufacturing or even are strong in CAD, or that you're taught that as you go, and they use, I guess, your abilities that you knew before to help with their projects, but they also teach you what they know, because it's a learning experience. I mean, that's why I came here. It wasn't because it was like the only job around, because obviously I'm from Minnesota, so there's plenty up where I'm at. It's just, I guess, the opportunities you can learn at the Keck Center.
Beautiful, wonderful. Torture.